YouTube. I'm here to talk about the pros and cons versus working at a big company and a small company. So let me start off with small companies. So the pro with the small company is there's more power amongst individuals, or whether you're in charge or whether your coworker, your boss is in charge of other operations. So you get more say. You may get more say in how the company runs, or you might have more influence amongst your coworkers about business decisions and so on. And I would say with smaller companies you get to wear more hats. So you could do like sales, accounting, data analysis, customer service, administration, and they're usually like less staffed. So it's good to like get to understand how business operation works, and get it's good to kind of understand learn the gists and the ins and outs of like certain businesses. So the learning's there. And then lastly, this may be a pro or con, but if you have a team that you really vibe with, there's a good there can be like a good sense of community. But on the other hand, if you don't have a team that you really like vibe with, it can be hostile. Just kind of working there. And then I guess the pros and cons with working at a larger company is with larger companies, there's you have more of an individualized role that's more tailored to your position. But larger companies also tend to overstaff. So because they tend to overstaff, you usually have like less. You're doing less work, and more of like what your responsibility. Also, larger companies, there's more likelihood of layoffs just because of how big they are and how much employees they have staffed. And then let's see. And then yeah, I guess that's kind of about it. Bigger companies also just have more resources, and there's more like support. Whereas smaller companies, you're kind of doing everything by yourself. You might have a coworker or so to kind of help you out, but you're kind of on your own. Whereas with smaller companies, there or with bigger companies, there tends to be more resource, more help, more support. And then also the what was I gonna say? The I guess with bigger companies too, there's also more like approvals, more policies, procedures that are sometimes like harder to remember versus smaller companies are less organized, they're just more lax in that sense with policies and procedures. Yeah, those are kind of the gist of smaller and larger companies. I would say also pay tends to, you know I would say, I wouldn't say like it it really makes a difference. I would say though, I guess larger entities, they tend to just pay less because they have more employees though, versus smaller companies. They but it also depends on like the company's revenue. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of generally that you may see like a bigger company paying less because they have so much employees, but then a smaller company may pay more because they have more revenues per head count. But it could be the other way around. The smaller companies may not have that much revenue. But generally, I do think smaller companies are able to kind of pay more, and there's less likelihood of a layoff with the smaller companies, because you're more essential. Versus the smaller companies. With the bigger companies, you're less essential. And then yeah, I think those are the kind of like the advantages and disadvantages of working with small company. Oh yeah. And then for the large company, I guess since your team, since you have like a big department, there's a lot of teams and other departments. It may be hard to just feel like you fit in. You may be like feeling like a little isolated, less sense of community compared to a smaller company. But you do have your team. But I mean, it depends on like how much interaction you do with your team and your other teams. But I mean, it could go other way. It could go either way, really. And then yeah, those are kind of my 2 cents of working pros and cons with working at a small company and a larger company.